me pop up here my screen and we're going to just get this thing kicked off here. Today, we're going to be talking about the training aspect of American business systems. I like this part of it. Biggest reason because I love training people, whether it is in this part about medical billing or entrepreneurship or some other things. I love training. I love to talk with people. I love to be around people who like to learn some things, especially us who would call ourselves adults. I don't call this necessarily adult learning or adult education, but let's just call it what it is. It's business training, and that's what we're all about. I used to be in before I got involved with ABS, gosh, over 17 years ago, I was doing a lot of business opportunity type things with doing what's known as business performance improvement. And so had some awesome experience and some opportunities to really have that great time of working with Fortune 500 companies. And I learned, hopefully the people there learned, and we had a great time of learning together. So just think of it, that's what this is all about today. I don't know if you've ever been on any of our webinars. I like to do our webinars a little bit different than probably other webinars that you've been on that are trying to sell you something. So let's just kind of just kick back and relax and understand today I'm not trying to sell you anything. What I'm trying to do is educate you on what you get here at American Business Systems to help you launch your business successfully. And what I mean by that is, folks, you know that if you're going to start anything, you best need to know the basics of what you're getting into. So what you're going to find out today is some of the behind the scenes of some of the things that we do to help you get to that level so that you have everything that you need to get your business launched with American Business Systems very well. That's where we are today. All right, let's see who else we have in. Anne Marie is on here. Good to see you. Heimel, good to see you. Let's see who else we have on here. Got some other folks that have, Shirley, good to see you. Shalandra, good to see you. And again, if I didn't pronounce your name correctly today, please forgive me. I don't always, and I apologize. So feel free to correct me if you'd like to over in the Q&A box over there. You can certainly do that. All right, let's talk about, again, what we're going to do. We're going to talk about, can you succeed with the ABS training program? So remember, today's webinar is all about you. So I want you to make sure that you ask your questions. I'm going to be monitoring the Q&A box. So let's make sure everybody knows where that is. So go over to the Q&A box. What I want you to do, just so that I know that you know where it is, help me out here. I want you to participate with me. And that is, if you just please put in the city where you're located, you can put the state where you're located, you can put the city and state where you're located. That would be great. I just love to have some communication. And I'll tell you why I love this, because earlier on this last week, or the first part of this week, I had an opportunity to go speak with a group of high schoolers. It was a career day type thing. And it was the funniest thing. I told those kiddos there, I said, look, I'm not leaving until you talk with me. So I'm kind of telling you the same thing. I want you to work with me here. I want you to, engage with me during the webinar. So that's why I've got the Q&A box open. I want you to communicate with me, share with me your thoughts. So you can even share with me your fears or what's holding you back or anything. I'd like for you to kind of just think that we're here, we're chatting with each other, we're having a cup of coffee, and we're just going to spend the next hour together with you. All right, so let's get started here. So we've got Jay from Flower Mound. Jay, you're in my neck of the woods over here. We've got Douglas from Virginia, another person from Texas, right here out of Keller. So we got few folks right here. Nicholas is from both Atlanta and Baton Rouge. Good to have you, Ophelia. Hopefully I said your name correctly. Again, from Maryland. Good to see you. Got another person here, Shirley from Arlington. Chanel from Louisiana. For all of my Cajun friends, thank you for joining us this afternoon. I've actually graduated high school and college in Lake Charles. So all of my Louisiana friends. I'm born in Texas. Got some education in Louisiana, came back here to Texas, and been here ever since. Let's see. Kashal from California, Fresno from California. Anne Marie is from Ohio. Good to see you. Shirley said funds and fears that it won't work. Okay. Or that it, yeah, that wonder if it's going to fear that it won't work. Okay. We'll address that today. I appreciate it. Man, we've got some Texas people here we've got Shalandra, you're from Plano. Good to see you. Bernardo from Florida. Heimel from California, the San Francisco Bay Area. Good. And Kim is from Ohio. Thank you for everybody popping in here. Appreciate everything. So Shirley's wanted to work for me, wanted to work for you. Okay, let's see if we can't address that. And I appreciate, sharing that. Other people, you can share it with your fears or your doubts or your whatever else you want to share here. Just feel free to share with me anything. Nicholas had played football against Lake Charles High. Well, I didn't go to Lake Charles High. I went to Barb. So if maybe you might have played against Barb at one time. That was my high school alma mater there in Lake Charles. So good to see. That's awesome. I love that. Thanks, Nicholas. Appreciate it. What I need to, Nicholas will get this. Nicholas, I need some boudin. So make sure that you send some over here. I live up in the Fort Worth area. Some good boudin would be good. If anybody doesn't know what that is, just don't worry about it. That's a webinar in and of itself. So again, my name is Eric Auger. I am from the Texas area. You can see Nicholas understands where I'm coming from. I've got a Cajun type of last name here, so it's good to see everybody here. Let me tell you a little bit about American Business Systems. Folks, ABS has been around for 30 years. I am proud to be associated with this organization for the last 17, going on 18 years. The Phillips family is a great family to be a part of. I would tell you just from personal experience, I don't think you can go wrong with this type of business opportunity. But you got to evaluate it yourself because it's not only, let's put it this way, everybody. I can tell you how good the company is. I can tell you that there's a lot of other business opportunities and franchise companies that are as good as American businesses and have been around as long as ABS. What you got to do is figure out, is this going to work? Does these other places have the potential income that you're looking for? Do they have the kind of lifestyle that you're that business lifestyle, what you're trying to work into? Just, what's it going to make it for you? I tell you what ABS has done for me and for my family. Like I mentioned earlier, I was actually in the consulting business. I was in the business consulting business. I was doing a lot of business sales consulting, and Patrick and I met, and we got to visit. And at that point, I didn't know anything from medical billing to anything at that point. All I knew was business opportunities and business systems, and I knew how to look at things and try to see if there's some opportunities to improve in some areas. And I found a home here. Now, let me tell you what it's done for me, though. It's launched me into a career in healthcare. I have had two medical billing businesses. They were both successful. But what happened is that led me into other avenues into healthcare. Now I'm doing a lot of things with hospitals, hospital systems, doing some business improvements things there. I'm actually, there's a lot of great things that this will lead you into many different areas. I still have my fingers in medical billing in some areas. So listen, you never get away from revenue cycle management. And that's what this is, such a great business opportunity, because inside the opportunity creates newer opportunities for you. So as you would hear from some of our successful business coaches, some of them still doing billing themselves. Some of them have created their business systems to grow, their billing systems to grow, and now they've got other staff members. They've launched into other areas of revenue cycle management, other areas to help the doctors make more money. So we're going to talk a little bit about those, but that's the success that you can get from American Business Systems. And obviously you're going to see the longevity of the way ABS has been around for so long. They too have drawn in some new opportunities to help out these doctors and these failing clinics, I'll put it that way, to help them get their financials back where they need to go, and just where they've kind of helped out with that. Chanel says, I love billing. It keeps you on your toes. So it sounds like you've done some billing and that's awesome. So it's good to know that there's some people that out there. Let me tell you a little bit of the history of American Business Systems and how it got started. Some of you know the story, so just kick back with me a little bit while I kind of take down this memory lane here about Patrick and Linda, Adam and Sarah here, and that's who this family is. They were your general run-of-the-mill family here in America. Lived here in Texas, takes their kids to Disneyland. I think that's a Disneyland picture there, out in front of Hollywood Studios somewhere out there. And, that's just where they were. And then during that time, about the same time, Linda was asked to do some billing for a durable medical equipment company. So that's the group of people that will supply wheelchairs and bed and oxygen and all this type of stuff there. So she was asked to do some of the billing for that. And come to find out that Patrick and Linda found that to be a good second subsidiary income for them. But what happened is that income started outpacing what Patrick was making. And he thought, well, wow, what if we got another doctor or somebody else? And then that's what happened. So you can imagine how it just kind of grew and blew up there. All of a sudden, they're doing billing for 3 or 4 doctors, and now they're teaching family and friends. And then all of a sudden, they said, you know what? Patrick and Linda said, you know what? Let's teach others as what we're learning. And so that's how this whole business package came together, because they remember a lot of their failures, some of the things that they would have done differently. And they said, what if we put a package together that we can bundle up and train people, and then, as you'll see here, support these people that will make them successful. And then Patrick just had a brilliant brain opportunity here to think about how he can just charge and basically a business opportunity investment without a longevity where you have franchise fees or royalties. And that's what he's been able to do and pull that together. Now, since Patrick has taken a back seat and sort of retired here in the background, he's kind of handed it off to the young man that you see to the left. Now he's an older man who was married and children and now running this company. That's Adam Phillips. So Adam is now grown up in all of this. This is basically all he's ever known is the whole medical billing revenue cycle world. So he has written some books on it. What I'm excited about, and I've been teasing this whole last few weeks on, is that Adam's written a new article for this magazine called the Billing Coding Magazine. It's a bi-monthly, so it comes out every other month. But he's just written a new article in here on artificial intelligence and how that will impact medical billing. This is I've already read the article. It's a fabulous article, and I can't wait to share it with you, because what I want to do is we're going to create a webinar based around his article. I'm going to have Adam on here. I'll be on here, and we'll put it together, and we'll kind of talk through this and share that with you. So that's a kind of a teaser of a future webinar that we're going to be bringing out. But Adam's been great at doing a lot of great things. And one of the great things he's done here, as he's taken over right before his dad ended up retiring and everything, Adam created an organization called the Medical Revenue Management Association of America. Let me tell you why this is important. Obviously, you've come through the channel of American Business Systems. And one of the things early on, even when I started here, 17, 18 years ago, people would ask, can we carry the ABS logo? You kind of see it right up here, that square thing that's over here on my right-hand shoulder. They thought, hey, can we carry that, because there's such longevity and everything with ABS, and we really didn't want to put you in a position that the doctors go out there, well, where did this logo come from, and who's American Business Systems, and then they find out that you kind of just created, you're in it because it's a business opportunity. And so we've avoided that by Adam created this association called Medical Revenue Management of America. And so it's a murma.org, and you can actually see and use that logo that's right there in the slide there. You kind of see it up in the left-hand corner there. And you'll be able to carry that and put that on all of your material, all your marketing material, your business card, the flyers that I'll show you here in a little bit. So that's going to be great opportunity. Now, also, this is the organization that will certify you. So you can see that whenever you go through your certification here at American Business Systems, which is what we're going to be talking about today, the training that actually creates this whole part of your certification. MIRMA is the one that does your certification. So not only are you part of the association, but this is an organization that does the certification for you to become a certified medical revenue manager. So we'll get into a lot of that here as we go through it. Now, folks, what you need is a billing platform. Now, what we feel like we have the best billing platform out there in America. It's got a lot of bells and whistles on it. Now, I'm gonna pause here and just remind you that if you haven't done this already, get back with the business coach that you're working with, and then say, "Hey, Eric mentioned something about doing a demo." If you haven't done a demo of our system, you're selling yourself short. You can attend all the webinars that you want to, but if you haven't had a sit down with your business coach and have this Zoom meeting and kind of go over this, again, you're missing a lot. So I want you to gather your people together. You may have some investors that are helping you invest in this. You may have another business person that wants to join you in this business. It may be a husband and wife team. It may be a father-son team. It may be a mother-daughter team. We've had a lot of these. We've had just families come together. So say to your family or to your business folks, say, we need to get this demo thing done because it's very important for you to get that. So I make sure that you have that. Now, Kashala says, I don't have a business coach assigned to get started. So I'm going to share with you real quickly, if you'll call 866-565-8413 after the webinar, not during the webinar, but after the webinar. Just tell them that Eric sent you over there. You just need a business coach. They'll help you out. Okay, so there's other services here that go along with what you're doing here. So you got iClaim, EMRX, but you see up at the top, there's a box up there that says virtual care. We'll discuss a little bit about that. Audit Guard and CodeWrite are the services that have to deal with coding. So for those that are on the webinar today that you're a little frightened about codes and all the medical codes, don't worry about it. That's what that's for. That's the support for you and for your doctors. We Quick Collect and then Choice Pay. Those are some accounts receivables type help to collect for the doctor. Dynamax for those that want to do medical dental billing. Folks, something that doctors need right now is Compliancy Guard. This has to do with their HIPAA compliancy rules, all their updates that they have to have. AutoCard is another way to help those doctors build. And then credentials, if you got a doctor that needs some credentialing done, and we've got a ton of other things here. So let me remind you also to go to our website, go up to the top there. You can see it where it says download the 5 secrets to success. You're going to want to get that document. I'm not going to spend much more time on this. We've already talked a lot already. So I want to jump right on in here to get into the training. So Kashal, hopefully you get that number. I'll have it towards the end and we'll get that. Shirley says, where can we get that newsletter, that billing and coding article? So as soon as I do the webinar on this whole thing on artificial intelligence, we're going to make that available for you. Okay. So that will be a huge help for you. Chanel is saying that she needs the phone number too. Okay. So here we go. 866 565 8413. 866-565-8413. Call after the webinar. We'll make sure that you get your business coach all hooked up with you. Okay, great. Love it. Thank you. You appreciate it. Absolutely. So let's talk about training. So one of the first things I want to share with you, obviously, we're trying to answer the question, can you succeed with the ABS training program? First of all, let's say, can you succeed without it? That's probably the better question. So let's talk about that real quickly. Now, there's some on here that may already have a little bit of background in medical billing training or something like that. Those people could possibly do that, but I'm going to tell you that we've had a lot of folks that have come into this business with us here at American Business Systems who have had pretty extensive training in billing. We've had some people that have been professional coders, certified professional coders. A lot of people who have worked in doctors' offices and they have become they were billing. They were doing the billing there at the doctor's office. So I'm going to tell you, we've had a pretty good handful of folks that have jumped in here with us who have had some experience. Now, I want you to know this. They've already had experience and they come into the business. So why would they need American Business Systems? I'll tell you why. It's because it's really, how do you market to the doctors? There are going to be some of you who come into this business who have a pretty strong background in marketing, but you lack in the medical billing side of it. So instead of thinking as ABS as a school, okay, or a trade school of some sort, don't think of us that way. We are a business to business way of teaching you how to run a business, how to become a business in medical billing and revenue cycle management, and how to get the doctors. Okay, this is where we invest our time into you on the front end on marketing and getting your client. So much so that the demonstration I shared with you earlier that I want you to get and go see, these are the same demonstrations that we're going to do for you in helping you get that client. We do the demonstration, not you. We do it for you. Now, there's some legwork that you're going to have to do to get there. There's some things that I'll share with you. The practice analysis questionnaire you see there in Module 9, the practice analysis results and agreement. We're going to get through all of that. I'm going to step you through some of this today. But let's first of all, you can see that there's 10 modules that you're going to go through. Now, let me tell you how it used to be. Up until right before the pandemic that we had, right before all this, right before any of that occurred, we had just started doing training online, and we were kind of working that through, but boy, COVID kind of forced us into it. Prior to that, we used to have training here in the Dallas area. It was held over 5 days, and it started on a Monday, and it started at 8 a.m. on a Monday, and it went through Friday about 1 o'clock. Now, if you'll look at all the content that we see on this page, this one slide, can you imagine trying to learn all of this in basically 4.5 days? Okay, so everybody sit back and take a breath. You're not having to do that anymore. We see that this is probably going to take you approximately 10 to 12 days in doing this. Now, it's not a full days there. You're going to see towards the end, it's probably going to take you anywhere from about 15 hours worth of one-on-one training, live training with an instructor, just like you see me here on Zoom. You'll have that Zoom encounter, and your mic will be opened at that point. So you're going to have some dialogue with your trainer here. But it slows it down. And what I love about that is that it kind of gives it some time to breathe, if you understand what I mean. Because folks, everybody's learned something, and all of a sudden you go, oh my gosh, how am I going to remember all this? What we like to do is kind of seed it into you, let it kind of grow and kind of mature a little bit. And then we're actually going to have you do some things before the next training session so that you leave with a little bit of homework, and then you kind of come back and you go, okay, I'm going to put that into practice now. So this is what we're going to show you and how to do this. I'm going to kind of help you see and set you to know that we've got a plan for your success. This is what you're thinking about. This is what you're getting from American Business Systems. You've got a training plan and a support plan from an ABS. That's why we don't have to charge you any franchise fees or royalty fees, because all of the money that is made to you. So when you do your billing for your doctor, you're charging a doctor, let's say you're charging a doctor 7% of all that you help that doctor collect. And let's say at the end of the month, you've helped that doctor collect, I don't know, let me get my calculator out here. Let's say that you helped that doctor collect $45,000 times 7%. You've just made $3,150. Okay, that's your money. That's your money for that one doctor. And that number there at 45,000, you've helped that doctor collect 45,000. That's a medium doctor there. Okay, so you can see there that you could literally make $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 easily with a doctor, and that's your money. Again, you're not paying ABS for royalty fees or franchise fees or even training or support fees. because everything that you get here with your one investment here is that's everything included. And guess what happens if we bring on another service? It's okay. We're not going to go back and ask you for more money because each of the services that I showed you earlier that we were looking at there, I'm going to kind of go back to that, all these boxes here. So let's kind of take a look at all these boxes here. So each of these are services that you're going to be able to utilize, and you're going to be working with them. And so anytime that you've used those, let's say with iClaim and EMRX, let's say you kind of use iClaim and EMRX as your billing platform. Whenever you're utilizing that particular service, ABS gets paid from the iClaim and EMRX on the back end, nothing from you. So all of our supporting money comes from all of our vendors that we've kind of pulled back to you for you to utilize there. So this is how we help you keep going and just blossom and keep growing without you having getting stuck with any franchise fees or royalty fees. Now, let me also say this. Let's say that you go to a doctor's office today and they're using an iClaim EMRX competitor. Let's just say that they're using, I don't know, Superbill or, well, I don't know, SuperClaim. We'll call it SuperClaim billing system, okay? That doctor is spending money on some type of monthly service fee for that, okay? They're paying for that already. The only difference is instead of them paying that, they're going to pay iClaim for that service. So that's the service. But it doesn't mean that that comes out of your billing percentages. So we're going to show them the cost differences, and we're going to show them how this will actually improve with them. So again, the doctor's paying the service fees for any of these parts of it. That's why ABS can continue to keep working in the background, because we're basically being supported by the services that we can help you add to your doctor's program. So hopefully that made a little bit of sense there. And people always kind of ask, well, what are any ongoing fees? Do I have to pay for this and I have to pay for that? Again, we're going to show you how to bundle things. We're going to show you how to make sure the doctor is paying for these, so nothing's ever coming out of your pocket there. Kushal, I'm going to get to your question here in just a moment. So let me get through a little bit of this, and I'll kind of, whenever I get ready to wrap up there, I'll kind of talk with you about the one-time investment. But I'm going to keep your question right up over there. So once you get started here, you're actually going to get this email to you, this get started screen here. And this is directly from what you get as soon as you get signed up. And it says, by the time you read this, you should have your first training module scheduled, which means you're ready to go. And if not, just contact Joanne, our director of licensing, and she's going to help you out, make sure that you have that link to get that thing going. And you can see each session is 1 to 1.5 hours long in length. So your trainer will schedule the remaining sessions directly with you. So you're going to get that first scheduled one, and then once you have that engagement there on that first one, then your trainer there will say, okay, when do you want to schedule your next one? Because by the time we do your next one, I need for you to have this done. So basically, that's what's going to happen here is you're going to get started, and you're going to start going through all of your, I'm just picking this one here, medical marketing overview, and you're going to start learning some of the things you can learn. And then you see you've got homework summary. You know, you're going to need to know what an EOB is, an ERA. What is a PM? What's the EMR? What's the difference between an EMR and an EHR? What is EPCS? You know, gosh, I can't even name them all myself. But who is CMS? What does HIPAA stand for? These are the things that we're going to make sure that you understand, because you need to know all this lingo. You don't want to go out to a doctor's office today and say, hey, I want to do your medical billing. And he or she's going to ask you, so, well, what do I do with all these EOBs? Do you get ERAs there at your office, or do they come to me? You see what I'm saying? So we're going to make you sure that you're prepared, and you're not going, I'm not sure what an ERA is. Man, if you don't know what an ERA is, the doctor's going to kick you right out of the door. So that's why we want to help you get through all of this. Let's see. Jay is asking, is the license and resources of ABS provides, are they transferable? Yeah, Jay, they are. You know, especially if you transfer them within the family, that makes it really easy. But if you let's say that you grow your business to some monetary thing and you're ready to move on to do something else, You can, if you want to sell your business, you can do that. There's some things that we would have to do to train that next person, but those are some of the things that obviously we can end up doing. So one of the things that we talk about in that training here is what's called a revenue cycle management. So if you're getting involved in medical billing, let's get the lingo down correctly in the very, very, very beginning. I would rather you start talking in terms of revenue cycle management versus medical billing. And I'll tell you why. If you go in and say, hey, doctor, hey, I do medical billing, they're thinking, okay, do you want me to hire you as a staff person here at my office? I already have a medical biller. Okay, so what you are is a revenue cycle management company, because you're going to do more than just the medical billing. You're going to see that here with all those other different services that I mentioned to you. Let's say that you want to introduce the doctor to virtual care. Well, that has nothing to do with medical billing. It has to do with the continual care for their patients. Now, they can bill for that service, and you may end up doing the billing for that service, but what it's doing is bringing additional revenue into the doctor's office. That's why we talk at revenue cycle management, because that's what we want to do. We actually want to bring sources and resources to that doctor to make sure that we get that doctor's revenue up, because they can only squeeze so much out of Medicare, okay? They can only do that so much. So we've got other revenue streams in which the doctors can make some money. And a lot of it is just really getting their billing done properly. So what is revenue cycle management? You can see, first of all, it has to do with the collections of data. Folks, if this doesn't get right, the doctor's not getting paid. And what I mean by that, I'm going to show you here in a moment on a little slideshow that I've got for looking at the iClaim platform. But if you don't get the patient's data right, like their first name, last name, their insurance number, if that part of it is not done correctly, forget about everything else. Forget about the claims transmissions, the claims management, AR follow-up. That none of that happens, because what's going to happen is when that insurance company gets this person and that supposedly this doctor has seen, and he gets that insurance company, let's call it Blue Cross Blue Shield, and they go, we've never seen this person because we don't have this, somebody mistyped something. They don't have it in their system. They kick it back and they go, denied claim. And they'll tell you why it's declined, okay? That's what an EOB, explanation of benefits, are. It'll tell you why it's gotten paid or why it didn't get paid. And so you can see that. And then if it gets kicked back, as a denied claim, then you got to rework that claim, make sure you get it in there. So data collection is huge. Well, let's say you got everything done correctly, you get it over claims transmissions, then you get to claims management. Finally, the accounts receivables follow up. Get your reporting, because when you report, you're going to report back to the doctor and say, hey, remember, I collected that $45,000. $45,000 hits your bank account. Now, our agreement is that I'm going to get 7% of that, so I need you to pay me, okay? That's what the reporting is, okay? So that's RCM. That's kind of takes you through there. All right, so let's talk about medical billing training. I want to get over here to our website. Now, what you're seeing here on the screen is a link to what's called our licensee support site. Now I'm going to take you over there in a live shot here. So I'm going to switch my screens here so that you can see where I'm going, and we should be here. We're here live. Okay, so this is what you saw on that slide deck part of it. Now we're here in it live. So you can see we're right here in the middle part of it. You can see, so the overview, medical billing training. This is one of the first videos that you may want to watch, a video training overview of your role as a medical revenue management company / licensee in a typical medical practice. So we've got lots of medical billing training on here. You can see here now we're talking about the RCM medical billing terminology. And then there's some downloads that go along with that. You'll be able to download all the definitions through here. Then we're going to get into some more deeper stuff. Now, this is additional training. This is not the training that you're going to go through. So I don't want anybody to kind of go, well, Eric, I thought you said I'm going to have live training. You are going to have live training. These are supplemental trainings that you can have because I promise you, after you get through with your live training, and it doesn't mean that we're never going to go back over and help you with your live training, but these are some short little videos. You can see this one right here is only a little bit, about 6 minutes long here, just to kind of help remind you about what you've learned in your training. Then we're going to talk about Medicare fee schedule lookup training, and then actually how to enter a claim. This one's about 12 minutes long, you can see here. And then how to post an EOB. Remember the EOB? I've already mentioned to you, it's called explanation of benefits. Once the doctor gets paid, they're going to send a letter, or it's going to come in electronically, which is an ERA. All right. It could come in there electronically, or it comes in manually, where you got to open up the envelope and see that's an explanation of benefits. You find the patient's name, you put how much you billed for, how much the insurance company reimbursed, and you take care of that. How to post patient payments within, because there's going to be some things you're going to need to do through that. Because remember, you're doing everything in that revenue cycle management. That's why the doctor's paying you 6 to 7% to do their billing. Because you got to understand that if a doctor has a medical biller in their office, imagine them trying to do it in their office, and then all of a sudden someone gets sick, and all of a sudden the biller has to do work at the front desk. And then now there's 1 or 2 days that doesn't happen with the claims going out the door. So people always ask us here at ABS, what don't the doctors already have their own medical biller in their office? Yeah, but it doesn't mean it's working efficiently. That's what part of the trouble is, okay? So everything that you see on here on this medical billing training, this is a lot of what you're getting. But also I want you to see here that this is your home for support for everything here. If you want to go look up some news that's happening, this is live. We're looking at it right now, and we've got some new services that are popping up here. We've got a new webinar that's coming up here just for, now folks, this is nothing you can get into, okay? You can only get on these. These are business owners only at American Business System. So don't think that, hey, Eric, we've got this webinar today, you get to join some webinar, Friday. No, I'm kind of showing you behind the scenes here. This is some of the great things that are happening behind us. We just recently did a webinar not too long ago, network best practices for building growth. So these are constant training opportunities that we're giving you here at American Business Systems, so that you've got a ton of information, as you can see through everything that we're doing here. Then all the services. So here's the Compliancy Guard. Folks, let me kind of just tell you here, if you're looking to get started in medical billing, this is one of the best things that you can have the doctors get involved with right now. And that is making sure that they have gone through a HIPAA risk assessment. Folks, they had to do this every single year. Guess when they're doing it? They're doing it right now. They'll be doing it from the beginning of the year through at least March or April. So you're not behind the curve yet on helping the doctors get their HIPAA risk assessments done. And so there's a lot of things that go on with that. And this is something that happens throughout the year. So I like to do it at the front part of the year, because as things come up, you got to get new people trained. You got to change up some of your risk assessments, part of it. So this, to me, is an incredible, if you want to call it a foot in the door type of thing, this is awesome for you to be a part of. Again, all the other different services I claim, you can see all of that there. Quick Collect, the virtual care part of it. All your marketing material, again, I'm just kind of showing just briefly while I'm here, I might as well show this to you. This is your licensee support site. So this is going to be something you're going to want to have bookmarked right up on your laptop or your desktop or whatever, wherever your browser that you use, you always want to have access to this at all times. I'm going to switch back over to our slide deck over here. So let's kind of keep going back through that. So now I'm going to show you real quickly. I'm going to only take about 5 minutes of this because we're already about 40 minutes into the webinar. I'm going to try to take you over to we call it an in-depth certified medical revenue management training agenda, outline and agenda. So you can see really, I need to deny that because somebody is coming in. If this wasn't you, we recommend that you, so don't change. Okay. So hopefully everybody's still with me. Is everybody still with me? Nevin, are you still there? I just want to make sure somebody was trying to join in here. Let's see. Yes. Okay, good. I want to make sure because I had to deny somebody else what was okay, great. I want to make sure nobody was jumping in on my webinar here. Okay, so let's go over here. I'm going to go to the in-depth. Let's see. Let's do this. And all right, so we're over here. So now we're back on this live part of our website here. Looks like there's somebody still trying to get in. I'm going to say don't change. All right, so in-depth certified medical revenue manager training outline and agenda. Okay, so we've got module 1. This is what you're going to learn in module 1, setting up your business entity. What is the difference between a corporation, an LLC, a partnership? And somebody is just trying to get in. So let me, again, don't change. And Nevin, if you're there, if you could get a hold of somebody, and maybe let Adam know that somebody's trying to get into our webinar, and just making sure that if whoever it might be, I got somebody back up here on kind of helping me back here, so that's why I'm talking with him. All right, so the importance of choosing the right company name. We're gonna go through all of this in module 1. We're gonna talk to you about your logo. We're going to show you, make sure you got that down. So let me go over to module 2. Now these, remember I told you there's 10 modules that you're going to be going through here. And you're going to, in the second module, we're going to talk with you about common issues of in-house billing. Didn't I just talk to you about that? The challenges that happen in a medical biller's a doctor's office here. Just because that they have an in-house biller doesn't mean it's working all the way that they think that it's supposed to be working here. So this is what you're going to learn in module 2. Challenges with having everything on paper. Folks, last thing, remember, we just talked again, real quickly about HIPAA issues. The biggest thing about happening with issues with HIPAA have to do with things on paper. Now we're going to get into the importance of practice analysis. I shared with you a little bit about that, how we're going to do that, because that's going to lead you to where we're going to help you do that demonstration, that demo of the iClaim EMRX part of it. We're going to show you how to do what is a practice management system. Well, that's what the iClaim system is all about. I'm going to skip down to module 3. For those that want to endeavor into dental billing, we're going to show you how to do that. But then we're going to show you how to use virtual care as a door opener. Okay, so again, virtual care. Let me share with you a little bit about what virtual care is all about. Virtual care kind of got birthed out of the pandemic during COVID. So obviously patients couldn't go see doctors. So they thought, well, what else can be done? Well, even before all of that was happening in COVID, there were companies that were getting blood pressure cuffs and glucometers and some of these other items that people typically have at home, and they take their blood pressure at home or they take their glucose monitoring at home, but they needed some way for that to get transmitted over to the doctor's office. So now what's happened is that these devices are usually cellular enabled. So now when the patient gets their blood pressure taken, it automatically goes into to the doctor's office for the readings. If they're out of range, the doctor gets alerted. That's what virtual care is all about. And folks, I'm going to tell you, there's not another medical billing business opportunity out there that has what we're talking about here for you. So if you want to know more about the virtual care, again, get back with your business coach. It all has to do with what's called remote patient monitoring and what it entails. That's in module 3. Module 4, we're going to go over quick collect with you. We're going to talk to you about how to take care of accounts receivables. We're going to talk with you about certified medical coders, how they work through CodeWright and AuditGuard. Folks, again, I'm kind of going through this real quickly with you. What is HIPAA? What are HIPAA violations and how serious they can be for doctors? Module 5. Now we're starting to get into marketing challenges for medical practices, how to best price your services, when to start offering AutoCard to these doctors. We're going to talk about credentialing, how to use credentials now to get your foot in the door. All these different things here, Doctorable to help delight patients and grow the doctor's practice. Because the doctors need some marketing tools themselves. That's what this is all about here. Who is your target market? We're going to talk about that in Module 6. Now, this is where where the rubber starts meeting the road. This is where we're going to put everything into practice. Now we're going to start helping you develop getting your doctors. Two main goals in marketing to doctors: how to position yourself as the expert. We'll go through the practice analysis questionnaire to help you get through that. Talk about your MIRMA certification. Module 7, the correct way to do business networking, how to get in front of people, how to create power partners out there, the 4 elements to your perfect elevator pitch. And let me say something again, it's always good to have an elevator pitch. But again, let me also remind everybody and some of you, you're going to hear this for the first time. And I'm actually going to probably write an article or write a series where it might even become a little book here. But the importance of building a business story. Everybody loves to hear a story. I like to hear other people's stories because then it'll give me an opportunity to share my business story. And that's where real connection comes to play. So it's great to have a elevator pitch. That's just that. Hey, I know I've got 60 seconds. I got to be able to share something. You got to have that. But then once you've got that, where I'm finding where a lot of people kind of fall is that, okay, well, tell me more about your business. And all of a sudden they go, I don't know what to say. So we're going to try to teach you how to develop business stories. Okay. In this, we're going to show you how to build a business story without you even having a client. That's the great thing about it. If you start working with sales reps, we're going to talk with you about that in Module 8, how to train them, how to pay them. Again, Module 9, more of meeting the office manager, how to use a non-disclosure agreement, step-by-step to ask them questions. So to do the practice analysis questions, then for presenting your proposal, scheduling your live demo with our partner. There's what we were talking about. You can see how it's all coming to the final part of us helping you gain and get that first client of yours. Again, that's the biggest part of what we're trying to help you get to. So folks, I've just given you over the last 50 minutes, call a baptism by fire of really a lot of our training. So what I want to do quickly now is take you on a brief tour of the iClaim EMRx system. So again, what is iClaim? iClaim is our billing system of which we use. We know, again, like I said earlier on in the presentation, that a lot of claims do not get paid because of simple typos and human error. If you haven't gotten a chance to read the new Thriving Medical Practice book, I encourage you to get a copy of it. I'm going to tell you at the end how to get a copy of it, so don't leave me yet. I'm going to share with you how to get a copy of the new Thriving Medical Practice. But let me share with you how we correct that problem, and it's the use of the iClaim system. Now, this is why I want you, as soon as we get off this call today, contact your business coach here and schedule a demonstration of the software. So what they're going to do, they're going to log into iClaim. It's going to be a live, it's going to be a live account, but it won't be with real people's names on it. Okay, we're going to show you how to go in here and go and do the first thing that needs to happen, and that is to check to say if the patient has Medicare or Blue Cross Blue Shield or Cigna or Aetna or whatever it might be, that you do what's called an eligibility verification. That's important because wouldn't you like to know before you put the insurance information into the system for that patient, whether or not that they actually have it? We've got that built into our system that it will go out and check. So in this case, we're gonna look up a United Healthcare patient. We're gonna put their subscriber ID in there, their date of birth. And when that comes, we just click a button. And because we have our own built-in clearinghouse, that allows us to go into United Healthcare, pull that information to our system, see whether or not they have their copays, and then you see right here on here where it says create chart. You can see it there. There's a little button that says create chart. Once you click on that create chart, then what happens is that it brings all of the patient's demographics into the system because it's coming from the insurance company. It's not being manually typed in there. Because remember what you did. We started with the patient's health information or their health insurance information. We went and checked it against Blue Cross Blue Shield or United Healthcare or Medicare, and then we saw that, yes, it's there. Well, while we're there, let's just bring it on in here. That's the interface that we have because, again, we have built inside of our iClaim our own clearinghouse. Now, that may be saying nothing to you. It may be saying a lot to you, but you'll learn all about this when you do the demonstration with your business coach here. This is so important because once we show this to doctors, typically the doctor's going, wow, I've never seen that before. I can see that how that's going to help me collect more money or help you be able to help collect more money for mine because we're going to avoid that first problem, which is, again, a lot of the times where claims get held up. But ABS has so many successful parts of it that it's hard to get it all in 1 hour. And we've got about 7 more minutes here. So I'm going to kind of briefly share with you a couple of things. And I just mentioned to you just a moment ago about the new Thriving Medical Practice book. Okay. So how do you get your copy of it right now before you become an ABS licensee or ABS business owner? There's a way that you can get a copy of this at no cost to you, no obligation. I want you to, again, get back with your business coach and ask them to get you a PDF of this book. If you're all interested at all in getting started with American Business Systems, I'm trying to help educate you right now. You need to get this book. You saw me refer it to in one of our slides here on our webinar, and you need to know this. But let me share with you the impact once you become a business owner here at American Business Systems. You're actually going to get a real copy of the new Thriving Medical Practice book in hand. It's going to come with your package, but it's not only going to come with with the authors of Patrick Phillip and Dr. Vicki Rackner. You are the one that has written the forward to the book. You can see that right here. I'm kind of wiggling those 2 arrows right there. And what that means is that your name is going to go on the book. Remember earlier on in the training, we're going to show you how to become the expert. Remember I showed that to you? This is how we position you as the expert. And this is actually going to help you create that business story that I'm telling you about. Because now you're going to be in, you know the ins and outs of the new Thriving Medical Practice book. Now you can start to develop your business story of how you help doctors collect more money. So we actually teach you through reading the book on building your own business story. And plus, you're the person that wrote the forward to the book. And we actually give you an opportunity. We've got one that's already written, but if you want to add something that's a little bit more personal to it, feel free to do that. We'll help you take care of that and help you write that out. I am going to come down here just real bottom we're getting to the last. I didn't get through all of my slides that I had for you today, but I do want to share with you a few testimonials, and I just want to share this with you. This is from Jimmy Scott, and he says, I recently had the privilege of engaging with ABS training modules, and I must say that they exceedingly they exceeded my expectations in every way. The modules were meticulously designed, providing comprehensive and up-to-date information on various aspects of the business landscape. Cynthia, who's one of our trainers, was highly knowledgeable. Matter of fact, Cynthia is a business owner in medical billing. She is a medical revenue management company, and she is a force to be reckoned with. She has clients in her own state. She's got clients out of state. She's an incredible lady. Jimmy says, I'm looking forward to implementing everything that we've learned. Cameron Phipps says the training was very in-depth and organized. Everyone with ABS is amazing. Wonderful team of support. Great ROI testimony. And that's important because if you recall last week, I did a full webinar on how to get your return on your investment within 1 year. So I'm going to go back up to a question here of how much it cost here, and I'm going to kind of wrap up with that here in just a moment. Let me go over a few Q&As. How long does you have access to the course? Folks, you have a lifetime of access to the course. Obviously, we've got the first, let's call it the first 30 days. We want you to get through that training within the first, 10, 15 days, because that's going to be important here. I'm going to show you why that's important. But let's say that you need to put it on pause for a little bit. You need to come back to it. You say, hey, support, I need some retraining on a particular area. I promise you, we'll help you to get that through. When does the course start and finish? Well, it really is. It's a self-paced course for you. We figured it takes you about 15 hours to get through the entire course. We don't want to rush you through it, but again, we don't want you to feel like you're having to not be able to get it done within 15 hours. That's really about all it has. And then what if I'm unhappy with the course? What happens if I'm unhappy with the course? And this is a great thing for you to kind of we like to leave you with, and that is that if within the first 30 days you decide this is not for you, email us at support and we will arrange for you for a refund. Folks, you can't get any better thing than that to help avoid a failure on your own. People have asked, what do I do? I'm afraid if I fail, what do I want to do? So, that's some of the things that we can help you with. All right. So, okay, it looks like I'm back and everybody is I appreciate everybody. Let me kind of go through a couple of questions here. Jay's asking, are there discussions on which marketing sales methods work best? Yeah, I think what I'm going to do probably next Wednesday's webinar, I'm going to spend a little bit of time on some key components of some of the actual things that we teach that I like to talk about marketing. What are the most successful marketing tools to help you get your first doctor? So Jay, if you want to attend next Wednesday, let's do that. We'll have that discussion. Douglas, is the training only done during the day 9 to 5, or is it done in the evenings? That's what's great about it, Doug. It can be done whenever you're available. So if you work, let's say that you've got a full-time job 8 to 5 right now, but you need to do your training in the evening, we'll accommodate that. That's not a problem. Bernardo is asking, how does it affect when somebody submits a wrong code that the doctors gave you? The great thing about it is if they're utilizing our system, the iClaim EMRX system, that if the doctors are using the EMRX side of it, then when the doctors get through with seeing their patients, all the codes, the diagnosis codes and the procedure codes, that's already in there. It actually gets transferred automatically within inside the system. Again, when you meet with your business coach here, they're going to show you how that works and how to get that over. Again, let me kind of wrap up with this. We do have a 30-day money-back guarantee. Let me tell you where you can find that. I want you to ask your business coach to get the link, I think it is now, to the agreement. It's literally on the first page. You can read it, kind of go through it. So what are your next steps? I mentioned earlier in the webinar that there's on our front page of our website, you can download what's called the 5 secrets to success. But this is a research guide that actually goes on a little bit more in depth in some of our services, kind of the increase of the money, the revenue that you can make over as you're getting things going through. I mentioned last week that we did a webinar on our YouTube channel. We do these webinars every week, so you want to get that done and get that over there. It's on there all the time. So you want to go through that and get that taken care of and see all of those there. I mentioned to you talking with some of our business coaches. I mean, not just you're going to talk with your business coach, but what I want you to do is talk with business owners. That's what I want you to do. So you can hear me all the time and hear the interviews that we do here at ABS, but nothing is as good as you listening and talking with somebody that has been where you are, seated in the same seat that you are, and asking some of those same mental questions that you've kind of thought about. I've already mentioned about the live demonstration. I'm not going to spend much more time on that. Get again back with your business coach and get that set up. Lastly, I mentioned earlier about the purchase agreement. I think it's up to 5 pages now, but you can also see, I'm going to kind of point to it right there. This says refund policy. You can see it's right there on the front page. You can't miss it. So get that downloaded and get that done. And then folks, get your training set up. We would love to get you started as early as next week. Now, I know that you may not be ready for that as early as next week, but we want you to get started as quickly as you can. So let me just tell you again, what's your next business step here is just give us a call. Our number is 866-565-8413. It's 866-565-8413. I'm going to try to do the kind of the marketing webinar, some of the successes, some of the secrets of success for webinars for marketing. We'll do that next week. Folks, thank you for your time this afternoon. Sorry we had a little glitch in there for a little bit, but it was great having you on this afternoon. I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. Y'all have a good night, everybody. Be safe. Bye-bye.